Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Two Sentence Guess. If you haven't seen my first video on this, basically there's a website that only gives you the first sentence of a two-sentence horror story and then prompts you to guess what the second sentence might be. Now, the first time I did this, it did not go so hot. I think I got like 4 out of 13 correct. But I'm back in the ring today to guess the end to 13 more two-sentence horror stories, so let's get into it. Okay, first up we have, I've been driving aimlessly for an hour now. You know it's a bad sign when we're starting off with one that I have zero idea what the answer might even possibly be. I feel like the most common trope in two-sentence horror stories is that the person that is narrating the first sentence ends up being like the villain of the story. We saw that quite a bit in the first part of the series that I did. There were a lot of cases of like, oh, you think it's just an innocuous thing, but then the person ends up being evil or they killed somebody or something like that. So I'm trying to think about how like driving aimlessly could lend itself to the person driving being like a killer or something. Maybe they have like a body in their trunk and they've been driving to try to find a spot to bury it in, but they can't find anywhere to bury it in. That honestly doesn't seem like the worst guess, but I don't know why you would say you've been driving around aimlessly, because you do have an aim. You're trying to find a spot to bury a body. I'm just nervous for this entire video because there's no way I pull anything as great as my John Wayne Gacy guess from the first video. That was insane. I'm still riding the high off of that like 2 months later. I think the other option here is that it's some sort of like weird existential horror thing where like there's nobody else around them or in a completely deserted place or something. That might be the angle this is going for. But I think I'm going to go for the safe answer of there being a body in the trunk of the narrator. I don't think that's correct. I just don't have any other better guesses for it. Okay, and the answer is, I hope he doesn't realize I noticed him in the rearview mirror. Okay, interesting. I'm assuming the idea here is that there's like somebody in the backseat of the car that is trying to hurt the narrator, but they haven't done it yet. Like they're waiting for them to be brought to their house or something. And that is pretty creepy. I know when I'm driving around a lot, I get like really freaked out if I notice like a sound in the back of my car or something, like if something's rattling around back there. It kind of freaks me out. But I think either way, no matter what this means, it's safe to say that I got the answer wrong, unless the he that the person is noticing is a dead body. But I'm not going to lie to you, and I won't lie to myself. I don't think that's the case. I'm going to say Davis 0, Evil Davis 1. Okay, our next one is, every night at 2:17, I wake up calm and certain I forgot something important. I think I picked a bad night to do this, guys. I'm so lost here. Is there any chance that 2:17 a.m. was the time that the people in the Amityville horror house said they kept waking up or something? Is this an instance of like Ronald DeFeo Jr. waking up at 2:17 a.m. and being like, oh, I forgot to kill my family. Dang it, I gotta do that. I think that's just my wishful thinking, wanting to recreate the moment of me correctly guessing Ed Gein. I don't think this is a Amityville horror serial killer type thing here. But I am trying to think of like why 2:17 a.m. would be important, and also why the person wakes up calm and then certain they've forgotten something important. Is there a chance this is like some sort of revenge where this specific time every night is when they need to like either feed someone or like administer medicine to an ailing family member, but they're not doing it, and that's like the angle this is going for? That's really out there, but like that's the only thing I can kind of think of right now. I think I'm going to go for the very vague and cop-out answer that's probably wrong. We're just going to say that at 2:17 a.m. this person wakes up and they need to do something to help somebody in their household, but they're refusing to do it out of like malicious intent. Okay, and the answer is, in the morning, the front door is always unlocked and I never remember opening it. I feel like I just recently talked about a story, like a two-sentence horror story that was about somebody forgetting to open like the locked doors in their house, or they had OCD, I think, and they wake up and their doors are always unlocked. This is like very, very similar to that. Again, either way, I got this one wrong. There's certainly no like malicious intent going on here. I am still kind of confused. I don't know if I'm just having a stupid night or if this is just like, these are difficult for me to understand for one reason or another. It feels like there's just too much in the first sentence for me to think that it's simply that somebody is like breaking into their house every night and doing something, because again, they wake up the exact same time every night and they wake up calm and then certain they've forgotten something important, which means they're probably like sleepwalking during the night. Maybe that's what is going on here. And I guess the horror is like they're going out and doing a whole bunch of stuff or something they don't remember, and then waking up and like subconsciously remembering that they forgot to lock the door, and it happens at the same time every night. I'm not entirely sure what this is getting at. But again, my own personal confusion aside, that is me 0 and Evil Davis 2, so not looking good. Okay, next up we have, when I had another argument with my husband, I decided to take the children to my mom and deal with him when I got back. This one's sitting at 49 upvotes, which makes you think that it's not mind-blowing, but is like solid enough. So that makes me think the twist is just going to be that the spouse here killed their husband. And I'm envisioning they did it in like a particularly brutal way, and so they need to get back home to clean up the dead body. That is my personal guess. I know that's very basic, but again, the safe answer for what is hopefully a very safe two-sentence horror story. I just think that if it were like more creative than that, if it were less standard, it would probably have more upvotes. And if it were like kind of confusing and a non sequitur, then it would not be at like a healthy number of upvotes. So that's my metagame analysis right there. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna lock my answer that the spouse has killed the husband and is now going back home to clean up the dead body. And the answer is, Mommy, why does the trunk smell like Daddy's cologne? My daughter asked as she got into the car. Okay, so I think I was wrong in the sense that I thought it would just be like very straightforward. It's not, it is a little confusing. The trunk smells like Daddy's cologne, I presume because that is where the dad is at, which makes me think that she did kill the dad and is now disposing of the body. I suppose there is the possibility that the dad is still alive in the trunk of the car. And again, I wasn't quite correct in that like she needed to get home and clean up the particularly violent massacre that happened. But I will say that I got this one correct because again, I do think the spouse or the mom killed the dad. The story gets prompts for spelling cologne correctly. I've seen cologne spelled like colon so many times, but it does get like negative points for not doing its punctuation properly, which makes it look like there are 3 sentences in this two-sentence horror story. But that could just be the formatting from this website that's like aggregating these from Reddit posts, so who am I to judge? I'm certainly not one to judge. I mean, you guys should see my video scripts. They are written like not very well. There's a lot of issues in terms of like punctuation and grammar, and I spell words incorrectly a lot of the time. But in my defense, I'm only reading them out. I'm not like, it's not literature or anything. But again, I am saying I got this one correct by my own my own criteria. I guess it's easy to say you got one right when you were the judge and the guesser, but that's going to be Davis 1 and Evil Davis 2. Okay, next up we have one that there's no way I get this right, so I'm going to Google this a little bit. It says, a teacher who has just transferred into Saizu Academy soon finds himself in the hospital. So I'm guessing this has something to do with like an actual place named Saizu or Seishu Academy. So I'm guessing it's like a historical fact. I'm also guessing that's why it has 0 upvotes, which means it probably has downvotes. This is probably kind of insensitive. Okay, I've looked this one up and I'm even more confused. I think it's like an anime reference. This says, the class of students is from Saizu Academy, a specialized girls' academy that trains anthropomorphic firearms to be well-trained, good operating, and then there's the read more thing. I don't think I want to read more. If you guys couldn't tell, I don't know like anything about anime. Like I've watched some American anime like Avatar: The Last Airbender and the Yu-Gi-Oh! 4Kids dub when I was a kid. I've also watched all of D. Gray Man, which is the best anime ever created of all the ones I've seen, which again is 1. I have a huge soft spot in my heart for D. Gray Man. I need to go back and rewatch all of it, at least all of it that was created, because I love that show. It's amazing. But I'm definitely stalling here. I'm going to throw this one out just on the grounds of I have no idea what it's talking about. My guess is going to be like a teacher who has just transferred and decides to academy soon finds himself at the hospital. Guess he shouldn't have taught those girls to train those guns poorly because they shot him. Okay, and the real answer is, this is not surprising considering his students are assault rifles. So like I said, I'm throwing that one out, so it'll still be Davis 1, Evil Davis 2. Okay, next up we have, I told the genie that I wanted infinite wishes, and he immediately killed me. Okay, very interesting. We have a very basic setup, like all things considered. All of us know about like getting 3 wishes from the genie. Oh, I'd wish for infinite wishes, but I'm trying to see what the angle is here. Like, why was he killed immediately? I think there could be some aspect in that being killed was essential to this person being granted infinite wishes, but I'm not entirely sure why that would be the case. There was also the possibility that the genie is just so pissed that many people ask for infinite wishes that he just starts killing them immediately. Or we're going for the angle of the genie was pissed and killed the guy, but for some reason, due to his wish of infinite wishes, it caused him to like subvert death or something. This one only has 3 upvotes, so like could just be it was not very popular when it was posted, but I am on the random setting here, so it's not always going to be like the popular ones. Okay, my very generic and safe answer that'll hopefully grant me the point is just going to be that the person getting killed was essential to their request for infinite wishes. So whatever they were killed for, and whatever happened with the genie, they needed to be killed in order to get those infinite wishes. And the answer is, I told the genie that I wanted infinite wishes, and he immediately killed me. Okay, am I missing something here? Why is it a time loop? I guess if you did, we're going through a time loop, you would be technically getting infinite wishes, but why is he killing you? So I guess even though I did a safe answer, I got this one wrong because I did not guess time loop, copy and paste the exact same sentence as the first one. So that does make it Davis 1, Evil Davis 3, but I should stop doing the random selection on here because you get some very confusing ones like this. I'm going to read the comments of this video and everybody's going to be like, oh yeah, I got that one right away. That was very obvious. How did you not get that one correct? Okay, this next one is, after selling my firstborn, I had enough money to build a house. Okay, this one's really interesting because it starts out with a sinister tone. Like, we already know this person is selling their firstborn child, so I'm curious to see what the twist is here that'll make it, like, even more disturbing. Or maybe it's a true subversion where, like, the firstborn is not going to be a child, but, like, the firstborn golden doodle or something, like they're breeding horses or, I don't know, puppies or something. There is also the possibility that it's expecting us not to understand that firstborn is firstborn child, and it's just being like, the twist is going to be that, like, oh, they actually sold their firstborn kid, but I don't think that's the case. I think my guess is going to be something like, now I just need to sell my second in order to buy a car or something. Yeah, I think the twist is going to be like this person's even more callous attitude towards selling their kids for riches. It's either going to be that or it's going to be like the reverse twist of it being innocuous. But I think they'll go with like, yeah, I need to sell my second kid for a car or something. I just need a man to start the process again, and then after that, he's pig food. So I think the implication here is that this person is, again, just like having kids and then selling them or turning them into pig food, or maybe the man is going to be pig food after he gets the person pregnant here. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. But since I am the arbitrary judge and the last one was so confusing, I'm going to give this one to myself simply because I did allude to the idea that they would be, more callous and wanting to sell another child. I think this fits in with that of like, okay, they're starting the process over again. They're going to sell another kid in order to, I guess not sell one, turn him into pig food. But I'm going to give myself the point again because I'm the judge and nobody is here to stop me. Nobody's here to tell me no. With the sheer power and control and influence over this game right now, you'd think I'm like a Reddit moderator or somebody important like that. All right, guys, I've come down off of my megalomaniacal high that I had right there. So I'm going to say Davis 2, Evil Davis 3. Okay, this next one has 102 upvotes, so a little bit more popular, and it says, all my children died before I married my new wife. Again, because this is a two-sentence horror story, I'm going to guess this person killed their kids. That just seems like the most logical answer, at least in terms of two-sentence horror story, not just like real life. My thought is that this person's new wife is like really opposed to having kids, and so in order to please them, this person killed all of their kids, like, to get them out of the way so he could marry this woman. That's my guess. The interesting aspect about this one is that the second line here is very, very short, so I'm not sure what it could be. So yeah, I'm going to say my final guess is like, I guess the no kids thing really was the deal breaker. Okay, and the answer is, I thought a fresh start was needed. So I did correctly guess that this person killed all their kids. Again, I think that was really obvious, but I would say I probably got the point because of that, but maybe I'm just being way too lenient in this video. I was incorrect in the aspect of like, it doesn't seem like they did this specifically because the new wife asked. But again, it is like, I guess the whole no kids thing was a deal breaker. Like this person wanted this fresh start in the first place. So I'm going to say I got this one right, which means it's Davis 3, Evil Davis 3. Okay, next one has 24 upvotes and it says, my wife laid down next to me silently, her back turned in my direction. Okay, back turned in my direction means that she is facing away from the person that she is laying down next to. So what could be wrong with her that she's trying to hide? I just recently read The Damnation Game by Clive Barker, and there was a scene that was like oddly similar to the very first sentence of this. I'm not sure if the second sentence will be in the same vein. I guess if the wife's face is rotting off, then we'll know for sure. My guess is going to be that the wife is in some way horrifically mutilated, or like, did some horrific mutilation towards herself, and that's why she's not turning around to face him. And the second sentence will be like, in the morning he sees his wife's freaky face. It's either that or this person is not their actual wife and it's somebody wearing the wife's clothes, and he wakes up the next morning and finds that his wife's murderer was like dressed up as her or something. And the third option is that the wife died and she's come back from the grave and is now sleeping next to him. I think it's a little bit of a cop-out to give 3 separate answers for this one, so I think we're going to commit to... Well, this is really tricky. I think I will commit to my second option, which is that it is not the wife, but somebody who is posing as the wife. Okay, and the answer is, I clasped my cold, rotten fingers over her mouth to muffle her screams, turned her to face me, and turned off the light. Well, seems like Evil Davis won that round. I was on the right track with the damnation game, rotting person in the bed. I just didn't realize it was going to be the spouse and not the wife. As a 2-sentence horror story, I don't know if this works super well for me just because there's not enough setup for it to, not feel random that this person is some sort of corpse that is coming back to, I guess, like attack his old wife or something. But either way, I got it incorrect. So that is Davis 3, Evil Davis 4. So we're pretty much at like halftime now, and it's almost a tie game. It's 3 me, 4 Evil Davis. So I'm feeling pretty decent about this. I think I'm on track to do better than my last video, but I think I got like so many wrong on that last video near the end. So I'm not entirely confident in my abilities. And let's also not forget that I got 2 points on like pure technicalities that were given to me by, some sort of impartial judge. So it's a good sign. Okay, next up we have, I snatched my infant from the zombie's arm just a second too late. What is with the zombie ones today? That's 2 zombie ones in a row. This one also has 713 upvotes, so the second sentence must be pretty dang good. I'm just trying to think of like, what would the subversion be here? I think of like a conventional horror story, conventional zombie story. If you snatched your infant too late, it would mean that the zombie bit it, and now the infant will become a zombie. But again, I feel like almost all of these have like a weird, clever subversion. And this one has 713 upvotes, which means it was probably a pretty dang good story. So I'm just kind of confused on what the second sentence could be. It could just be something basic and be like, well, at least an infant brain is easier to destroy than a full-grown zombie's brain. So like it's just playing with the fact that this person had to kill their infant because it was turning into a zombie. I think that will be my guess. I'm just going to say that the second sentence is going to do with the parent having to kill their child. Okay, and the answer is 20 minutes later, while sobbing, I discovered he'd just gotten his first tooth. Okay, so I definitely got this one wrong here. I think the implication is that they thought they were essentially safe from their kid who had been bitten, by a zombie, or maybe they didn't realize it had been bitten and turned as a zombie until they realized the kid got their first tooth and they bit the person and then, turned them into a zombie. It is a little strange because the teething process is usually like pretty lengthy. Like if your kid was getting his first tooth, you'd probably know because that baby would be crying all the time. But I do think the story is pretty clever. I agree with all the upvotes here. I just got it wrong. So that'll be Davis 3, Evil Davis 5. Not looking good. Next up we have, I told the devil I would sell my soul to be cured of my cancer. Okay, so I think the obvious angle here is that there's going to be some catch to this wish. They will be cured of cancer, but something bad will happen to them as well. My immediate thought is that they will discover that they have another terminal illness that is not cancer. It's either that or it's like the cancerous part of their body, so say they had lung cancer, will be immediately removed from their body and they'll die because they don't have any lungs anymore. I think no matter what direction the story goes in, there will be a catch-22 here. I just have to decide whether I think it's like a different terminal illness or if it's going to be, something crazy like they had skin cancer and now all their skin is gone or something. I think I'm going to go final answer. They realize they have a different terminal illness. And the answer is, you're too late. Your wife sold her soul to get rid of her biggest mistake. Okay, so I got this one wrong again, but I do really like this one. The idea that this person's wife already sold her soul to get rid of this guy, and that's why he can't sell a soul to get rid of his own cancer. That's very clever and inventive. I always like stories when there's like multiple forces using the same like evil pact or like magic or something, and they don't realize the other person's doing it. I think that's always like kind of a fun, clever twist to put in a story. But what's not fun is the fact that the score is now 3 Davis and 6 Evil Davis. That means I literally have to get every single one of these correct in order to win this episode. I'm going to level with you guys. I don't think that's happening. Unless the next 4 all have to deal with John Wayne Gacy in the second sentence, there's no way I'm getting these all correct. Okay, next up we have, I had a sudden, horrible ringing in my ears that made me dizzy and nauseated. The second sentence for this one is massive. It's got 167 upvotes. There's no way I get this correct. It would seem to me that a bomb has gone off, some sort of explosion has happened. I guess you could say that the person, who's narrating caused the explosion. Maybe they didn't do it intentionally. I've been watching a ton of stuff about the Chernobyl nuclear reactor explosion and about the Demon Core at Los Alamos. So, that's where my brain is at right now. But I think there might be a subversion here that I'm not getting. But now I'm trying to think of anything else that could cause a sudden, horrible ringing in your ears that makes you dizzy and nauseated. What could that possibly be? Maybe this person has some sort of aneurysm or brain cancer, and that is what this is alluding at. I also just recently watched The Life of Chuck and then read the short story The Life of Chuck, so that's why I'm thinking of that as well. That's my problem, is I come into these videos so tainted by outside influence that I can't use my pure raw thinking skills to figure out the answer to these. If I could do that, then I'd probably get these all correct. I think it's simply just being an explosion wouldn't be enough. I don't think there wouldn't be enough there to scare somebody. The other thing I'm kind of thinking of is they caused an explosion or some nuclear incident that is hurting everybody around them as well. I think I'm just going to punt it fully on some sort of nuclear mishap, and the twist is going to be, or the second sentence will be they thought it was just them, but then everybody else in the lab also has this ringing. And then I looked over and saw that the Demon Core had fallen off its perch and touched the ground. So screw it, I'm going at the nuclear radiation angle. Let's see what we got here. Stepping laboriously into the urgent care center, the ringing louder and more excruciating than anything I'd ever experienced, I found that everyone there was suffering from the ringing too. Okay, that is a good two-sentence horror story with the, everybody's experiencing the same horrible thing. Reminds me of Uzumaki. Again, I've been reading a lot of Junji Ito lately. Unfortunately, I did get that incorrect because this did not have anything to do with the Demon Core at Los Alamos. So that does mean that Evil Davis is the official winner of this episode. I'm just going to see if I can reclaim any points. But that does bring us to a score of me 3, Evil Davis 7. Okay, our next one just says, help, with asterisks on either end, baby not responding. This one has 1,400 upvotes, which makes me think that it's really good. It has a really good twist to the second half of it. I think it's written with the help and asterisks as if this is on a different message board. That's the tag they're putting at the beginning of their post. And then baby not responding is the issue they're dealing with. My guess would be that the OP here, the person that wrote this, did something reckless to their baby and now it's not responding because, it's dying. So I'm going to guess, they caused some sort of, terrible thing to their child. And now they're asking oh, it's not responding. What should I do? When obviously they need medical help, or it's very clear their baby has died. So I think my generic answer will just be that this person did something reckless to their kid. Their kid is now presumably dead. And the answer is, sorry if this is the wrong sub, but I left my baby in a normal bed overnight. Is there something I need to do to wake her up? Okay, so I think this has something to do with the fact that babies who sleep in cribs typically are less susceptible to things like SIDS or sudden infant death syndrome. I think that's one of the main reasons you have a kid sleep in a crib and not in a, just a full-size regular bed. I don't know why exactly that's the way that this works out, but I just see that's what's recommended online. So I think I will say I got this one correct because, again, the baby had something bad happen to it, presumably because of the negligence or misunderstanding of a parent. So that brings the score to Davis 4, Evil Davis 7. Okay, our next one is the ballerina swayed gracefully to the notes of the music box. Okay, so there's got to be something sinister going on with this music box. Not entirely sure what that could be. My immediate thought is that somebody's created some sort of horrifying life-size music box, and the ballerina that is swaying is been bolted to this thing some sort of weird plot of a Criminal Minds episode. I've already lost, so I might as well just take a crazy answer. I'm going to say human-sized music box. Ballerina has been bolted to the human-sized music box. That's my final answer. Okay, and the answer is finally set free with the last twirl as another little girl who owned the music box now goes missing. What? How was I supposed to guess that? I think the implication here is that the little girl opens the music box and gets sucked in by it, and then the ballerina that was inside, who was presumably another little girl who found the music box years earlier, is now set free. Again, I don't know how I was supposed to guess that, but screw it. Let's just give the point to Evil Davis. Let's give all the points to Evil Davis. Everybody loves Evil Davis. All right, that brings our score to Davis 4, Evil Davis 8. Let's move on to the last one. Okay, for our last one we have, we laughed and went to Ding Dong Ditch them for a 5th time. Okay, my immediate thought is that they're just going to get, like, killed or something. Like, this is the last straw, and they get, you know, shot or attacked or kidnapped or something. There's a really good Stephen Graham Jones short story called The Ones That Got Away that has, like, kind of a similar premise to that. That's really, really good. You should really read it because it's awesome. But yeah, I've been recording this video for long enough, so let's go. The people get killed. Like, somebody steps out and kills them, shoots them with a gun or something. And the answer is, the shotgun blast through the door and my friend's chest was the last thing I expected. Looks like I still got it just a little bit. Wasn't a complete shutout from Evil Davis. That brings the final score to Davis 5, Evil Davis 8. So not my worst showing, although I can't remember the score of the first one, so it could be my worst showing yet. Let me know if there were any of these that you guys got correctly or guessed incorrectly, or if you think I was too harsh on myself, or most likely if you thought I was, you know, too lenient on myself during this episode. Also, let me know if you guys enjoy this kind of video. I just had a lot of fun making the first one, so I figured I'd do a second part to it. Remember to subscribe if you haven't yet. I'm trying to reach 200,000 subs by the end of 2026. And as always, a massive thank you to all my lovely channel members who continue to support all the nonsense I get up to here on this channel. But yeah, thanks again for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya. Take me up again, let me see the stars. Is there life on Mars? 'Cause I've run out of luck here on Earth. I'm a wanderer. Another trip around the sun makes these memories flood, and I could wash it down with the atmosphere. You're cool blue and crystal clear. An astronaut flying above, but can't fall in love. Floating alone, brave enough to see the cosmos, too scared to say hello. And I know one day I'll be gold